so I didn't really get around to one of my plans, which was to do a whole flat picking version where you're picking out the melody and kind of strumming at the same time. Because I'm not sure, I haven't, and I might still do that. But it sounds like that's kind of where you're heading with this, is to do a solo flat picking version. And it might turn out like if you haven't looked at the instrumental, the finger picking version yet, it might turn out that D is not the best key for that. But it's not necessarily a bad one either. But I just decided to pursue the finger picking one in a different key first of all, to make it relatively as easy as possible. Like doing the finger picking version in D was going to get, it's going to be real pyrotechnic to get the melody to fit in there. D is not as good a finger picking key for a lot of stuff if you need bass notes, when around the main chord, a D chord, without doing a drop D in the bass. So that's why I did my finger picking version in G, because it put the melody in a much better spot. And the melody, as I mentioned in the lesson, if you looked at the finger picking lesson, the melody is 2 whole octaves worth of range, which is ridiculous in terms of trying to get it all to fit like on the guitar and have bass notes beneath it in spots. But that works in the key of G and doesn't really work in the key of D. But so what'd you come up with so far? I mean, let me hear what you got.
Okay, I'll see if I can. See if I can roll through this in the key of D.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
I can do it better now, but
That's okay. No, one thing, I think I might have talked about this in the lesson, but I always had to make a decision between playing open notes or not playing those notes open and playing them fretted. I tended to want to play them fretted for a more consistent tone with all the other notes in there. And so like a few of those spots, I think sometimes you did play the B, for example, on the 4th fret here and the E on the 5th fret here. And I think it might have been consistent with that. I'm not sure if you even played any open notes in there. So, in the bass notes, it's fine. When you get this. So I would consider making sure that they're all not open. The E's and the B's in particular. Because just the tone of an open plain steel string is different than the wound strings. And then, or playing those notes fretted. So play it again, because I think you might have done that way anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was okay. No.
Yeah. Keep going. Do the second half too.
Oh, there.
That's the spot.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was great. Now, interestingly, the first time you went through that, you were really good and consistent with the downs and the ups here being in the right direction for where a note falls, if it's on a beat or if it's on an and, right?
Right.
There's one note though that you're losing a little bit of the time on. It's when you get to the measure of, when you get down to those bass notes, when you get down to the B and the D, those are quarter notes, right? So they're both going to be downs. Actually, the first one's a quarter note, but the second one's a dotted quarter note. And so the B that comes after that, you're kind of stretching out the time a little bit there. You did something more like this. and then start it again from that last B. It has to be and one into the arpeggio. The arpeggio is when you start playing all those notes that are part of the D chord. We've got 6 notes that are all just notes in a D chord, right? And so the B just before that, listen to the timing there. See how the timing stayed exactly there. So you just have to. I think you were actually playing it at the right time, but then you held it too long. The A didn't come in on time. So like if you were playing that along with my strumming of it or something, you'd be behind me now. So you do have to make sure that that's and one from up on the B and down on the A, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the
Okay.
only timing glitch in there. And
Yeah.
what I was going to say that was kind of interesting when you played through it the first time. Just now when you ran through the first half, the picking was perfect, and in the second half it was really upside down in a lot of spots. It got really random, and it's of course the same, But so just make sure that you always keep that in mind when you're playing it. It's like try to make sure your metronome is keeps moving here, the whole time, So all of those measures you had really in good shape because those are all a dotted quarter and then 3/8,
Yep.
right? Which means it's going to be down and then up, down, up, down, up,
Right.
down, up, down, do, 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 do. And then there's the first measure. Oh, that's the measure we were just talking about that has the quarter and the dotted quarter, and then we're into all the quarter notes that are just steady downs.
Right. Right.
Other way, so that B is an up. It's up on the B and down on the A.
Okay. I got to do it in context then. Okay.
Yeah, take it from the beginning. Run through the
Yeah,
whole thing.
let me do it in context. Okay.
So, so that would have been 2 downs. The B and the D, right? Down, down, and then up on the next B. Open. Yeah,
You got it?
that's exactly it. You get it? You hear it?
I missed
That was right. You had it.
but that's what it is. Yeah.
Right, that'd be a down though, because that's a new measure, the E when you get to it. Yeah. Again, that was the same thing. You got it messed up there a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Two downs on the B to the D because those are consecutive beats.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try that one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's okay. Okay.
Yeah. That is great.
Okay.
So just a little extra concentration on this.
Count on the okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Have you practiced strumming through it, the rhythm part too?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be really any problems with that, right? It's pretty okay.
Um, Well, except my usual going to the B minor. Um, yeah, here let me strum through
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's
That's it. That's where the B minor happens. Yeah.
where do we go from there?
Then to G and A.
Forgot. Okay.
That time it goes to A. In the fourth line, the F sharp, the D with F sharp goes to an A chord instead of G because this is the end.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
oh, I know what I missed there too. I missed after the B minor, the G6.
Good, I was going to come back to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is G6? How are you going to play that?
I'm going to play it here.
Yeah, yeah. And so we want to add one more thing to that strumming, and that is instead of just bass down, up, down, instead of just hitting a bass note on beat one, we want to get a second bass note on the and of one. So we want to try to do this. So a very small stroke at those, and I realized as I was doing that, well, I knew this anyway, but when you're doing something like this and you need to be really accurate, not just with a bass note on one, but with a bass note on the and of one as well, just after and the strokes can really just be two downs. You don't have to do this. It's really fine, especially since we're putting eighth notes on beat one to hear two bass notes. It's fine to have just two nice and easy downs. Now, there could be kind of an incidental up. I'll get back to the two bass notes in a second. But there can be kind of an incidental up on the and of three on your way to the next bass note. Now, if you're changing chords, like if I'm going from the D with F sharp to the G, that up is going to be across open strings. So you're going to hear, I'll make it real obvious, but... So we got D and then D with F sharp. So the last measure, the last beat on the D is clean. You're going to hear that, right? But on the D with F sharp, you're going to hear this. But you're not going to notice it like you did that because before you can even register that, you're going to hear that.
Yeah.
G, that's the G6. Then this F sharp is going straight to A. Same two bass notes. Oh, there is no F sharp. That's the B minor.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
But hang on. Try to get that second bass note really clean as the third string on the D chords, and on all the other chords, it's the fourth string. So when you go to the F sharp in the bass, you want to hear this. The D first. You want to hear these two notes really clean, and you're kind of making a bigger up there, getting more notes, not a real distinct second bass note on the up. And now when you go to the F sharp in the bass, the second bass note will be the D. So if the fourth string is not, this is the same as in fingerpicking kind of rules. If the fourth string is not the first bass note, it's the second bass note.
Yeah.
Right? So that's every chord except D. You're going to hit the fourth string as the second bass note. So you got to really work even like on a G chord, getting a clean, hearing that, And I would practice this not changing chords too much at first, just to get the hang of it. Like stay on D for a bunch of times until this feels pretty comfortable. Then maybe go to G, and now you got to change to different bass notes. And similar to other country type strums we talked about, when you hit a second, you don't really want either of those bass notes involved in the strum part, so that the second bass note now on a D chord, that's not really realistic. It's totally fine to strum 3 strings on the D, even though you just hit the 3rd string. But on a G, you want to hear this note continue to ring while I strum. So you're really aiming for 3 strings.
Yeah.
On those downs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Oop.
Now on the E, make sure on the E minor you get the 6th string. You haven't been getting to the 6th string. Yeah, I've not been hearing that note real clean on your E minors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now we're at the B minor though.
Yeah.
Right, but that was good. That was much cleaner. See that second bass note was coming out, and that sounds really nice.
Okay.
You know, you may have noticed if you watched the other one where Jay and his family, Molly, his wife Molly, she does a lot of times a little bit more of an arpeggio on it, right? Just like she doesn't really keep in some. There are a couple different recording or videos of them doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also doesn't do it with the swing that I put in it, so I mean I like having this kind of lilt along a little bit more. Now the violin plays it with swing kind of sometimes, but so I don't know. I haven't been taken to task by anybody from anybody or by this for anybody because it really is the kind of tune that could go with swing or without it, and we're definitely doing it with swing with that the late 8th notes, right?
Right. Okay. Oh, with yeah. Okay. Okay. So she you mean she does something like that?
And kind of in straight time, just like you did there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. So see, there's no swing in what I just did right there.
Right.
So you want to you just want to be aware of whether you're doing it with swing or not. It's like one is not right and the other wrong. It's just that like I think when you were playing the melody, I don't think it was with swing. I think you were playing. Right, and with swing that'd be this. See, that sounds different than what you did, right? I mean, but again, it sounds fine either way. But if 2 people are doing this, they got to be like on the same page as far as that goes, So it wouldn't hurt to practice playing that lead with swing, just so you're really in control of, it's a different technique with your right hand because you have to. It's a much quicker move from the up to the down, and that kind of decreases the accuracy of it, So anyhow, just always kind of keep that in mind as you're playing it. Sometimes do it with swing, sometimes do it without. But when I'm just playing this rhythm part, so if we only do a down on 2 and a down on 3, the only note that makes it sound swingy is that second bass note, because it's the only note that happens on an and.
Right.
Right. So if you don't hit any ands in the measure, there's no sense of swing in the rhythm, right? But you can hear the difference between this no swing or with swing. So, but yeah, just keep working on getting that second bass note real clean, and keep strumming through it. And really, I think for you right now, the biggest obstacle in this thing is going to be to nail that B minor, to get that bar on there and hit that bass note before your other fingers or even like get close to where they need to be. You know, you're getting closer to you're really trying to put them all down at once. It looks like, and you're really close to that. But it's still the bar is always a hair late, and that's what. So when you practice that, I'm sure we've talked about this, but as an exercise, just do this and stop. You know, don't even put the other fingers down until you can't miss that bass note right on time in the bar. Try that.
Yep.
Okay, the bar has to be a little higher, like right there. So when you rush to that bar, you end up a little short. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, if you don't, you have to always think about barring. Pretend you're barring 7 strings. You can't be thinking about I only need 5 strings. I need 7. Okay, yeah. Otherwise, the top strings are not going to come out very well. Yeah. Oh man, that was perfect. And you had plenty of time to, if you'd put your other fingers down right after that, it would have been great.
It's that knuckle, the right there.
Right, there's still a little too much angle of it like this.
Yeah.
Still got to crank your wrist around. You know, your elbow should be cranked into your ribs. I mean, your elbow should be touching your ribs when you do this.
I'm there. I am there.
Okay.
It's the
Oh, another thought then, you might have the guitar, if you brought the guitar maybe closer to your body this way. Yeah, I mean, like your left hand, that's probably too much. But yeah, but something like that. I'm not sure. You might mess around with that a little bit with like how far you're reaching out with your left hand.
yeah.
That looked great. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not clean though. That's not clean. That's
That
clean.
was better. Yeah.
That's cleaner, but I was behind the fret. That was the difference there.
Right. So I think what happens a lot of times is you're a little over the fret. I think so. You're not buzzing it. You're kind of killing it a little bit because there's too much finger over the fret.
The fret. Yeah.
And that's part of this angle thing. You know, when you're angled. Yeah. Now, how did that one sound? I was talking, so I couldn't hear it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And what you just did right there, which was you kept going with the strumming, even though your fingers were a little bit late. That's the best thing. That's the best way to practice it too. It's like don't hit that bass note and then wait for those fingers to get down and try to keep going. So if it sounds like this, that's better. Even though I didn't have any of these fingers down by the time I hit those notes. That's better than doing this. Okay, so this hand, again, your metronome can't stop.
Stay in time, yeah. Stay in time.
And that gives your left hand, or the part of your brain that runs your left hand, its assignment.
Did the whole wrong thing.
Not bad though, yeah. Crank your wrist more. Yeah.
So the next note I'm hitting is this one.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the next one I'm hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what should get on next.
Yeah.
Oh, really close.
Yeah. Okay, but it's this one. Yeah. For some reason, no, yeah, it's this one right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try that just one more time.
Pretty close. Slow it down a little bit. Slow it down a little bit. Yo, you got it!
Okay.
That second bass note came out. You hear it? That's okay. There's some other little dead things in there, but the second bass note came out clear.
Yeah.
Both times, those last 2 times.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other one, well, yeah, this is okay. I'm getting that down. And if we were in the world of finger picking, we would be trying to put these down in the order of use, correct?
Right. Right.
Okay. But here,
Yeah, in the world of strumming, you really want to try to get all three of those other fingers down together. So I'm sure we've talked about this drill, which is just putting the bar on and maybe strumming it open, and then putting them on. And then one more thing about that: make sure that when you after you've strummed it in the bar, that you relax the bar while you're putting the other fingers down. So it shouldn't sound like this. You should actually hear silence there, so that you're pumping this every time and not holding this down like till your hand falls off.
I see. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, just lost my way there. You
Nice. That sounds really good.
yeah.
Careful, the bar is drifting a little over the fret. The bar's starting to get past the second fret. Yeah. And this is kind of a confusing thing for like how your brain sends signals to your hand to do this. As far as like when do I let go, when do I push down, when do it's like you can see there's like a little coordination
Yeah.
miscommunication, right? The thought process is think about squeezing when you strum and relaxing in between instead of when do I relax, when do I you just think about these two things go together.
Right.
And so you squeeze on the downs and you relax on the ups, but you never really let go. You just breathe. Yes. So now practice that with alternating off on with the other three fingers.
Got it. Three
See,
things.
that was perfect coordination what you're just doing there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of getting it. You can see it was a little crossed up in the beginning. It's okay when you strum it with just the bar in there.
Yeah.
There's only two notes that really matter. So when you strum this, if you hear dead notes in the middle, that's okay. But you want to hear the bass note and the high note because so you don't have to have this. You don't have to have all five of these. That takes three times the pressure than it takes when you've got these other three fingers covering the middle strings.
Right.
Right? So don't worry about dead sounds when you're just doing the bar, as long as you hear the lowest note and the highest note. That's it. That's all you care about when you do that squeeze.
Huh.
So if the notes in the middle are dead, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what you're listening for on the dead one, on just the bar one. Now you're taking the bar off when you put the other fingers down. Careful there. Did you see that? I mean, it's like you were doing this, and when you put these fingers down, this was coming up. They were kind of like doing a little seesaw action.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not part of this drill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And as if you're doing that properly, it shouldn't be really exhausting because you're just exerting this, a lot of energy for just a short time, rather than the death grip that you think you
Yeah.
need sometimes.
When you just said a second ago, when you said just get that number and that's actually pretty easy to do.
Right. It doesn't take much power for that.
Right there. That doesn't take a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, when I introduce these,
Nice. That's the sound we're looking for. That last one was really good.
yeah, that's
You know what? I'm not hearing the second string very well. When you have that.
I had it in the wrong place. I was
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's enough for B1. Okay, I'll work on. That's the drill there.
That's it. Yeah.
As we go up the neck, I get more vertical. That seems to be the geometry of my
Yeah. That sounds good.
I mean, here I can. For whatever reason, the rotation of my
Yeah.
so
Okay. Rest that hand, huh?
leave that up for a second. Okay, blow my nose.
Okay.
Hear the dog's coming back, so I'm gonna pop this door back here.
Okay.
Ah, so what should I do with this?
Um. A bit. A kind. Oh, go ahead.
As between, we have some things that we're working on the just the melody here as you go through,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another section of the melody that I didn't do.
Right. So we got a second melody
Yeah.
that is all lower, or is it higher? Oh, it's
Well,
right. How's it start? What are the first couple notes in that one?
it's
Ah, that's it. Oh, right. So it's F sharp G to A. So it leads up to A. So the first section A, the melody starts up on D. I mean, it leads up to D. Right.
yeah.
But section B leads up to A, from F sharp to G to A. Same ending. Until the last couple notes. Yeah, so it's got a slightly different ending, but it has the same arpeggio, or similar arpeggio. The first, like, 5 notes of the arpeggio are the same, right? So you should definitely start working on playing that melody.
Yeah.
And as you and I would try to work on playing it along, like with where I'm playing both parts. You know, use that as kind of like your practice partner at the lesson at Totally Guitars.
Okay.
You know, or have you seen that?
The finger picking one?
No. There's the duet version.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's me playing 2 parts, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it'd be really good to try playing along, you know, just the strumming version. Just play along while you're strumming, and then also try playing the melody along with me as like a separate thing.
Okay.
You know, I was gonna say, if you want to get really ambitious, you could, but I think this would be a better place to start. You could try recording yourself. You could try to do exactly what I did there. You know, record yourself playing one part and then try to play along with it.
Oh.
Now, the tricky thing about that is what you have to do, since it starts with the melody and not the chords. You'd really want to probably get the chords. That's why I think practicing playing it with my video will be good, you know, heading in that direction.
Okay.
But like the difficulty, what I had to do with that, because it starts with the melody, and I wanted to have, I recorded the chords first so that I could play the melody with it. But what I did that got cut off of the video was I counted my way in.
Okay.
You know, so I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then on the other one I listened to that, and on the missing 3 I play, and then we're like synced up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the behind the scenes view of how you do stuff like that. You know, so I was listening in headphones, you know, to the strumming one.
Yep.
When I played the lead one.
Okay.
Yeah. but I think for right now, just trying to play along with both of those. And if you want, if let me know like when you after you try that sometime, because it'd be also really easy for me to um, record a version of that just going slower. That because it might be that it might be going too fast to hang with. Although I think the way you played the melody, I think you're in good shape with playing the melody up to that speed.
Yeah.
Now that we got the little rhythmic thing on the B sort of straightened out. But I think that would be a really good goal is join my band and play along.
Well, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I will do that. And so that sounds like that's an ambitious week's worth here for me.
Well, what else have you been playing this week? I mean, oh, it's been a couple weeks. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. What
Well,
else?
I haven't been, but I've been, well, let's see, got my little stack of stuff here. I've been trying to just sort of noodle through. Let's see, I go through "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You" all the time, and then the Neil Diamond thing, and what else have I done? And Whiter Shade of
What was the first one you mentioned again?
"Babe, I'm Gonna Leave
Oh
You."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so there the timing and all of that. Um, this what is this? What's
Slow
this?
it down a little bit. Like yeah. You remember? You need to get it in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And let's see. Oh, now I
That's okay.
remember. Like I keep. Let's see. When I'm coming out of the F sharp, the D with the F sharp in the bass.
Hmm.
Here, when I'm coming out of that, I am going to the
Yeah.
F. I was not holding on to that.
Perfect, because that was something we talked about that a
Yeah,
while ago, and I'm
yeah,
really glad that I'm glad you caught that
yeah.
because that was yeah, that was the
Because
only thing that was kind of wrong with that. That was great.
yeah, because here,
So you know what you should have done right there was before you started thinking about before you played the last note, the C, the other
yeah.
fingers should have come off. You could let go of them a little earlier
Oh yeah,
so that when you're reaching for the F, you've already cleared the zone, kind of. And let's see, that's something that I can live without probably.
so yeah, come off. Okay.
Oh, and okay, that was great. You did all the right stuff, except you forgot to hit the C. But all your fingers moved at the right time. It's like you got the other ones out of the way. You started heading for the F. But while that was all going on, you had to be playing the C.
Yeah, it had to be put. Yeah, I had to keep the rhythm going there. I had to keep it going.
Close.
Well, that's sort of the direction, right?
Yeah. Try it again. Slow it down again a little bit, 10 or 15% slower.
Okay.
About that speed. That was the so yeah. Make sure sometimes that's a really good. Well, many times most it's always a good idea to slow it down.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and just see how it goes. And you can see the first time you tried to play it slower, it was like, wait a minute, I don't even know where I'm going now for a second. It only took like about two notes to like reprogram that, you know. But it, yeah. So being able to slow, and I may not have said this in front of you before, but a lot of times I'll tell people that you don't really know a song until you can play it like at half speed, as well as working on it at full speed. But if you can't play it, half as fast, which means you can't hear the musicality to it usually when you play it half that fast. And so but if you can do that, that means you have a really clear idea in your head of what's going on in there, and it's keeping you away from autopilot, which we always have to be careful of.
Right. Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can hear now that you've run through this 4 or 5 times, it's getting each time it gets a little smoother. It kind of just needs this little warm up routine to get back in sync with your fingers and your brain.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that sounded really good. Something that happened a lot of times, and you may have noticed or you may not. When you get to the after the F chord, when you go to the E chord, most of the time you miss the second bass note. You end up getting the fifth string in the bass there instead of the sixth and the fourth. So I was hearing a lot of the open A string on the E chord. And those are the kind of little detours that, as you're playing through it, you may not even hear that. It's like
Right.
you've put what the right note's supposed to sound like, and so you hear the right note, even if you didn't play it. So I mean that's happened. It's happened to me way too often where I've over the years something in a song has changed, or like I realize, and it's not till I hear a recording of me playing it that I say, where was that note? I know I played it. Why didn't it come out on the? What was wrong with the tape? Or something.
Yeah. Probably creating it in
Exactly. It's like what you expect to hear there, and sometimes you just take it for granted that you heard it, and it's not always that case.
right.
So
Right.
that's
Well,
really
we
good though.
keep
I'm glad you
going
liked
through that
it. Yeah.
for the week here, and let's see. Well, just the other things that
And Play Me, is that coming along then too?
maybe, yeah. Let's see. We got a different deal going on here, as I recall.
Right.
Uh, let's see. Let's see. Okay, it's it. Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, you got to leave a little bit of room there. You got if that's C,
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Yeah, I if
yeah.
I
Now you're gonna have trouble getting that note on. Yeah.
I got forced that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
and then there's the sort of interesting little
The second ending.
hammer on here.
Yeah, so that's coming from the F. So your little finger's already on when you do this, right? You're coming from the C sus4. Oh, so don't forget what we have there is a first and second ending, right? So that you play the first four measures, which are
Right.
two C's and two C sus4s.
Right.
Then you repeat it with two C's and one C sus4 before you jump to the second ending, which is the hammer on. So the hammer on follows a single measure of the C sus4, not a measure of C, right? You don't play the first and second ending,
Okay.
right? Right. So right now you do the hammer on.
Yeah. It's here.
Yeah, but with your right hand, that'd be your middle finger on your right hand. Yeah. Middle finger again.
I'm sorry. It's
Right.
there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that sends you back. That's so that a lot of time that's used in a couple spots in the song where it's kind of the last measure before something else happens.
right.
Yeah.
And then when you come out, let's see, later when you come out of the F, um, that's where, let's see, there's the,
So there's the measure that walks up to the F too.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And
It's,
there's one of those even in the second measure of the second line. After 7 repetitions of the C, then we have the measure that walks up to the C sus4.
right,
Right, so you got the 3 bass notes with the open first, second, open third string after each one.
right.
And in that measure, your right hand should change positions so that your index finger goes to the third string, because your thumb's going to play all those notes on the fourth string.
Okay. I lost
Talking about the
myself.
second measure of the second line.
Second measure. Oh,
Right. So see, your right hand has to shift for this. Right. Right. And then and then the first time you do that, now you just land on the C sus4 and continue. That's what happens in the first verse. So that little walk up is a little deceptive because now you just go back to the normal. Right. Right. Right.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like
In
that.
the
Yeah.
second time that happens, which is the next line, or it's in the second verse,
Yep.
that's where we have the F chord instead of the C sus.
Right. It goes
But
from,
we have the same walk up to it.
yeah.
Right. And now your right hand and your left hand kind of change positions completely. Right. You go to the little F. Yeah.
Oop.
Oh, you got to make a little bar. Yeah. Then we have the measure that walks back down. And I don't know if I talked to you about the changes. What I'd rather have you do is not worry about that note up on the first string. Just walk it back down, but make the extra note, the note after each bass note, just the second string. Just a one on a C on the second string. So it's just gonna be this. From the little F, you're at the F, the little bar.
Oh, right, 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 right.
Then the bass drops down to E. And another C and another middle finger. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
those bass notes is followed. So in both of those measures, all 3 bass notes are just followed by the same finger. Yeah, that'd be a much better way to play that measure for now.
okay.
When Neil Diamond plays this, well, that wasn't even him playing the guitar in this. He had like a real guitar player. He's okay on the guitar, but even when he's on stage, he barely plays the guitar. He's got like the big guns are behind him, right?
Yeah.
And so that little embellishment that has this note on the this your little finger come in on that F chord is absolutely not something he would have tried to do while he's singing the song. But his razzle dazzle guitar player, what was his name? Bill, I can't remember right now. But anyway, that was just a little variation he threw in, and that's what ended up on the record, which is why I put it in the music. But it's kind of, I'm going to, sometimes I do things like that are just like, oh man, you don't have to go to this great lengths to be so accurate for what was on the record. But
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I would definitely modify that to make it
Okay.
just more consistent with what we did in the other measure.
Okay. And then the rest of it, I mean, the rest of it is kind of this.
Yeah, you just play it every measure that happens here, except the simple strumming that happens in the chorus. You just strum a chord and hold it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
And the first time I go with the small chords, and the second time with the full bars, just to give it a little more beef. And that's it. So those two measures that have the walk up and the walk down, from the C's to the F's, and then the hammer-on measure. Those are like the only other things than the C's and the C sus4s and the F's.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm going to be doing for the week here. So
Okay.
all these
Sounds
things-
good. I'll send you a link to this in a little while, and we'll pick it up
Okay.
next week.
I will be right here next week. So
Okay. Sounds good. See
all
you.
right.